We have visited the topic of scary short films on multiple occasions, but as always, there is seemingly an unlimited amount of great short movies that can be talked about, so that's what we're going to be having a look at today. Before we begin, all of these movies will be linked down below in order, and I highly recommend that you check each of them out and show the director some love. But without further ado, here is the fourth part of the 10 scariest short films ever created. Number 10, Micus, directed by Todd Spence and Zach White. Micus is a movie that was released in 2018 and features a character named Pete who is going through some of his childhood belongings. He discovers an old figure that he seemingly made out of paper that appears to be called Micus. It's evident that Micus was Pete's imaginary friend when he was a child, and it might be for this reason that he decides to place Micus on his wall. However, some strange and bizarre things start to happen after he does this, and Pete realizes that Micus might not be as friendly as he remembers. Number 9, Still, directed by Oliver Park. Still was a short film that was released on Crypt TV's YouTube channel on the 15th of December 2017. It features a woman who is drawing alone in a rural house when she hears a knock on the door. She decides to go check what it is, and unfortunately for her, she finds a note on the ground that says, "You left the back door open." The rest of the movie is an eerie and suspenseful experience that is definitely worth watching. The music is great and so is the acting, and the piece does a great job of making you feel on edge for the entire 6 minutes.
I've got a knife!
Number 8, Ouroboros, directed by Semyon Voinov. Ouroboros is a film that was released in 2017 that features a unique and intriguing story that revolves around a young man who is woken up in the middle of the night by a knock. He hears a voice from the other side of the door and talks to it. The voice becomes more and more frantic and eventually starts knocking on the door loudly until it abruptly stops. The man decides to check outside and doesn't see anybody, but this is when we see the story come full circle. The name of the movie comes from a Greek symbol that shows a serpent eating its own tail, and when you watch the film, you realize that it is a fitting title.
Oh shit! Hey, the door's shut and I can't get back in.
Do I know you?
Wait. Who are you?
Look, I'm not in the mood to play riddles.
What?
Number 7, The Smiling Man, directed by AJ Briones. This short movie was released in the summer of 2016 and stars a small girl who hears a noise in her house and decides to investigate. She finds a balloon and soon realizes that there is a whole trail of balloons leading to the kitchen. In the kitchen, she finds what we can assume is the Smiling Man, a terrifying looking man who seems frantic and insane. The man attempts to play several games with the young girl before the big reveal at the end of the movie. The practical effects in this are great, and the acting from the Smiling Man is both captivating and terrifying. Number 6. Friend Request, directed by Nicholas Acosta. Friend Request is a film released in 2012 that centers around a young woman named Heather. While she is in her apartment, she gets a friend request from somebody named Ben who messages her and the two begin talking. At first, the conversation is normal enough, but Heather later checks her laptop and sees that she has over 100 messages and notifications from Ben. The messages take a sinister turn, so Heather decides to delete him. This turns out to be a mistake. The movie only has one setting, which is Heather's apartment, but it uses the internet to tell most of the story, which turns out to be an effective tool to creep out its viewers. Number 5. The Jester, directed by Colin Krawchuk. The Jester is a short horror movie that was released in October of 2016 by Make Do Entertainment, who were actually featured on our last list. The movie centers around a man who is walking down the street when he comes across a masked man who begins performing magic tricks. These tricks take a sinister turn, and the man begins to get scared about what could potentially happen in this exchange, as the masked person is beginning to act stranger and stranger. The cinematography and acting are great in this movie, and the way that the card tricks are incorporated are a nice touch. The movie gets increasingly more intense and scary as it goes on, and it manages to stay consistently entertaining throughout the 10-minute watch time. Number 4. Cured, directed by Jesse Burke and Eric England. Another movie that was featured on Crypt TV, Cured is a bizarre short film released in 2017 that centers around a woman who has been possessed by a demonic entity. In order to get rid of this entity, a mysterious surgeon performs an exorcism on her. The premise is quite simple, but the way that they deliver it is the selling point for the piece. The cinematography is top-notch, and so are the special effects. The film does a great job at being consistently unnerving and creepy, even at points where you think it wouldn't be. Small things like the woman being brought into the operating room and the surgeon prepping for his operation are weirdly eerie. If you're looking for a gory and intense short movie, this is the one for you. Number 3. The Russian Sleep Experiment, directed by Timothy James Smith. You more than likely recognize the title of this short film, as it is based on one of the most popular creepypastas ever made. The Russian Sleep Experiment tells the story of 5 political prisoners who are subjected to an experiment where they are placed inside of a sealed chamber that releases a gas that forces them to stay awake. The experiment quickly takes a dark turn, and the subjects begin to develop serious mental issues and eventually begin to act extremely violently. After the story was released, many fan-made pieces of content were made, but this short film, released in 2017, became one of the most popular after it amassed almost 5 million views in a little over a year. The movie is almost half an hour long, and it does a great job of visualizing the story. We get to know the prisoners, and we can also get a great glimpse into the experiment and why it's happening. When the dark turn occurs, we see the prisoners lose their minds, and the acting makes it feel very authentic. Overall, it's a great fan-made movie, and it's easy to see why it became so popular.
I demand the papers removed from the window! Felix! Remove the paper! Felix!
Number 2. SLUT, directed by Chloe Okunu. SLUT is a short film released in 2014 that won the Best Student Short at Screamfest. The movie centers around Maddie, who is a 16-year-old social outcast who lives with her disabled grandmother, who she also takes care of. In order to get some more attention from the people in her small town, she decides to dress in more revealing clothes, because that's what the most popular girl in town does. Unfortunately, she ends up attracting the wrong kind of people. The cinematography is great, the acting is top-notch, and the ideas that they managed to come up with for this movie are some of the most original concepts that I've seen in a long time.
End of the line, honey. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this before, darling. But half the fun's the chase. Girls like you just make it too damn easy. You ready for another ride?
And number 1, Internet Story, directed by Adam Butcher. Internet Story is a short film that was uploaded on the 17th of October 2011. The movie tells the tale of an online competition that very little people paid attention to, but it did catch the eye of a YouTube user known as Fortress, who decides to partake in the competition and document his experience. The movie differs from all of the other projects on this list because of the way it tells its story. It doesn't use expensive cameras or special effects, instead it simply uses the internet and some homemade videos to tell you the narrative, and it is incredibly effective. Adam Butcher manages to create an amazing and engaging story that is full of twists and turns. I won't say anything more about this movie as I fear I might give something vital away, and seeing as almost all of the scenes contain some pretty important plot points, I won't be showing you a clip either. Instead, I'm just going to highly recommend that you watch it and show it some well-deserved love. And that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As per usual with these lists, I always encourage you to go and check out all of these movies. They will be linked down below in order. Go show them some love. They put way more effort into their movies than I did into this list, and I only showed 30 to 45 seconds so that you can get an idea of the movies. So if you want to get the full scope, you're going to have to go and check them out in full. But like I said, that's all for now. As always, until next time.